We're very honored to have Northern Arapaho Councilman Addison with us today, and he's going to provide some final thoughts, and then we'll have one other closing commentary after that, and I'll introduce the second speaker in a moment.
First of all, I want to say good afternoon to everyone that's here today. And also I want to say thanks to the National Museum of the American Indian, and also the National Park Service for bringing us all together today. And I'm honored to be here and to be a representative of the Northern Arapaho tribe, which I also sit on the Northern Arapaho Business Council, and also an ancestor of Sand Creek. The film that has just been shown is a real powerful film, and those are the real stories of those that were, of our people that were, in the film. And, I always want to say, they're proud people, and we're strong people. But I also wanted to let you know that I'm a retired Air Force military, and also a veteran of Vietnam. And since 1998, I didn't realize, how long I've been part of Sand Creek as a representative. And, a lot of our other people too that have been on the film here, but also the other Northern Arapaho representatives that have been a part of this all along with the Cheyennes representatives. But I want to call them all our people, because we're all related in one way or another, and we all share the trials and tribulations and all what goes with it through all these years. We're coming together to hear the written oral history of our Cheyenne and Arapaho people and the historians. Also, not to forget, again, all the Cheyenne and Arapaho representatives of past and present for all their diligent work and efforts to set history right. When we talk of history, it's like a book. You can't judge a book by its cover. When it comes to history, there's always two sides to a story. And we're here to hear them all. The Cheyenne and Arapaho people, tribes, have endured so many obstacles of the past and present, and we still face assimilation and what our people faced with annihilation. Our journey for peace, understanding, dignity is still a challenge. We have to keep strong with our beliefs and our way of life, our culture, traditions, language, our songs, and most of all, our ceremonies. we need to make sure and ensure that these are passed on to our children for the future generations, and to have that respect for one another and be proud of who they are and where they came from. We must keep our sovereign rights strong and never give them up. Treaties still need to be honored with the federal government, and issues discussed on a government-to-government relationship. True tribal consultation has to happen. Through that, we need to have good collaboration amongst each other. Our road has been blessed with many good people, passionate people, that have supported the Cheyenne Arapaho people's journey in making history right. With the help of our consultants, Cheyenne Tribe, David Hallis, our Arapaho consultant, Tom Myers, along with the National Park Service, Alexa, Karen, Craig, Jeff, and all their other staff that has played a key part in showing that compassion for the Cheyenne and Arapaho people. There's other organizations, that are out there, and other entities, writers, historians that have helped and are still helping in trying to make history right. And the compassion and the support, the research and the dedication in helping setting history right. We owe a lot of thanks to them, for the many hours, the many years they have been doing this and setting history right. But also we got to give, thanks to our own people, our elders, our grandparents, those ones who remember. And we got to hold them close to our hearts, because they hold the knowledge, the understanding of life. And we need to learn off of them so we can carry it on and pass it on to our children. Those are the most important things, that, I hope to express today. But not to forget, also, all the legislatures, such as Ben Nighthorse Campbell, and others, that helped. With what is now recognized as a Sand Creek historical site. In Colorado, there are legislatures also, who have been a big part of, helping with history. Passed a resolution by unanimous vote to form the 150 Commemoration Committee that consists of tribal representatives, college representatives, and other organizations, the church, federal judge, and military reps that are working towards this big 150th commemoration for Sand Creek, as it was mentioned by Norma, that'll happen in November. So, with that, and feeling very proud of, of our people, and we all consider ourselves, relatives in that, that way. But with the hopes and understanding, with the history of what happened at Sand Creek, that the reparation that's owed to the tribes will one day appear, and all the injustice that have been done will be made right. But looking at everything overall, the history, and remembering, all, what happened in the massacre, but also to remember all the tribes, that have their own stories too, that one day, their story will come to life, and things will be made right with them also. So, in closing, we must move on to that day when our ancestors and the descendants are at peace in mind, body, and spirit. And all the things that have been done to us and whatever, we are still here today. Our people were strong way back then, what they had to face. But that's one thing they'll never take away from us, is our pride of who we are. And like always, what happened in the past, we will endure and will continue to endure. And with that, I want to say, aho, for giving me the opportunity to express myself today on behalf of our tribe and Arapaho Business Council.
Thank you so much, Councilman Addison. Mr. Addison's been a steadfast and extremely respected representative to Sand Creek since the site location study began nearly 15 years ago. Very happy to have him here. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Willard Gould, another Northern Arapaho Tribal Council member who's in the audience with us today as well. So thank you both for being here.